We're here not to say that this is a unique situation, but to say it's connected. That all injustice, all oppression is connected. All anti-racist and anti-colonial struggles are connected. That's why we're here, talking about Rosa Parks, talking about South Africa, because all of these things are connected. And none of us are free while we are complicit in another people's subjugation. Our government, the American government, act as cheerleaders for what Israel does. Whereas our government will speak out against oppression in Iran, whereas it will speak out against oppression in North Korea, it's fairly mute about Saudi Arabia because they buy a lot of our weapons. But whereas our government will speak out against injustice in various parts of the world, it does not speak out against injustice in Israel. It cheers them on. And those of us who support boycott and divestment and sanctions against the Israeli regime, not against the Israeli people, but against their regime, against the injustice perpetrated by their government. We are told by people like Hillary Clinton, we are told by the EU and world leaders, boycott and divestment and sanctions are not the answer to the problem. Well, their answer was to send Tony Blair. So I think our strategy is probably more realistic. As we are all human beings, it is our responsibility, not just because Britain is actively involved and actively historically culpable for the situation, but because we're human beings. And all human beings are interconnected, and all justice is connected. And if you care about justice on principle, on humane and compassionate grounds, then you have to care about the subjugation and continued imprisonment and oppression of the Palestinian people.
"60 years ago, a remarkable woman called Rosa Parks sat at the front of a bus. 25 years ago, our beloved Nelson Mandela was released from prison. And 10 years ago, the Palestinian people called for BDS, boycott, divestment and sanctions, until the Israeli state complies with international law and universal principles of human rights."
All this, and we mark the 800th anniversary of the Magna Carta, the declaration that was to define the values of justice and equality for all under the rule of law.
Which is far from the situation the Palestinians find themselves in. Although South Africa is the country most associated with apartheid and is the place from which the term originates, the crime of apartheid has a much broader definition. Apartheid isn't a term of abuse, it has a specific legal meaning.
And right now, the practice of apartheid is being applied by Israel to the Palestinian people.
I'm Jeremy Hardy. I was in Layla's film Jeremy Hardy versus the Israeli Army in Bethlehem in 2002.
My name is Jeremy Hardy. I am a comedian, or writer and broadcaster if I'm trying to sound grown up. I've always been vaguely active in politics, but in March 2002, when a Palestinian producer called Layla invited me to help her defeat the Israeli army, the meaning of involvement moved to another level. I could see she had a strange faith in the power of minor celebrity, a conviction I did not really share, but I was reluctant to disappoint her. Travelling thousands of miles to face the world's fourth biggest military power wasn't my idea of a holiday. On the other hand, the alternative was spending Easter in Florida with my in-laws. Palestine won.
Our next film, The Road to Bethlehem, needs your support. And Tipping Point Film Fund are incredibly important in this. They will be backing the film, and you need to help them to raise the funds for the outreach around the film, around the release and distribution of the film, so that the film is a huge success and so that Palestine becomes free and peaceful. And if that doesn't happen, it's your fault for not supporting this film sufficiently. Okay? Don't feel bad, I'm just telling you. It's down to you, and only you.
When my father decided to return home, I was really excited. I thought he was taking me to the most amazing place in the world. We were heading to Palestine, to a little town called Bethlehem.
Queen of all stars you are, my star of Bethlehem, you brought me all